Hey, it's Sandra and Marina from the Valco team. For our next frequently asked questions video, we're going to look a little bit deeper into appraisals and sort of why you need them and what that can mean for your house purchase process. So I guess, Marina, why would somebody need an appraisal when they're buying a house?
So when you're buying a house, oftentimes you're putting 20% down or even at that 5% down mark, but you've paid a little bit more than asking price, or your market is a little volatile wherever you're purchasing. So this can be a requirement from the lender or from the insurer, CMHC, Genworth, Canada Guarantee, that they need an appraisal to ensure the value in your home is there. Key things that this can impact is if you're buying kind of that handyman's fixer-upper, they want to make sure that it's in a livable condition. Those are very hard purchases to do. So when you're looking at that appraisal, it's really important to see what that house looks like.
Because, of course, we have to look at it sometimes from the lender's point of view in that, you buy a house that's a handyman special. If you're unable to finish that work, they have to look at it in a sort of way as, is this a property desirable to sell again, right?
Absolutely. And keep in mind, especially with those handyman's dreams, oftentimes there's a lot of structural work. So if that house isn't safe and sound to live in, what are you doing? Are you able to move in? Do you have to pay rent while you do the work on this house? If that's the case, you really have to pay attention to make sure you can carry that rent payment while you're doing the work on that house. So it's really important to keep that in mind.
Now, what's the process look like for getting an appraisal when you're working with a broker?
So with a broker, sometimes the brokerage will always order it for you. Sometimes there is a cost to an appraisal. Typically when you're purchasing or refinancing, that cost can range anywhere from $300 to $700 depending on the property and the location and everything kind of in that range. Typically they're in that $300 range. What they're looking for in this situation is to make sure your house is where you say it is. And that the house is in good working order, it's livable, those conditions are understandable.
So I would assume then that appraisals are sort of a more abundant process now with the market. As you said, people are overbidding on places, and it's going a little crazy out there still. Is that true?
Absolutely. So the second you go over asking, that triggers a warning, especially for those lenders, to make sure that the value of the home is really what you're paying for it. Because you get in those kind of crazy bidding wars where you're bidding $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over asking. It's really important to make sure that the value in that home is there, because if you go to sell that house in 3 years for whatever reason, you don't know what life can bring you, and that value's not there, and you owe a good chunk of that mortgage, there can be significant impacts.
Perfect. Thanks, Marina, for the information.
Perfect.